Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Essential Sports Pod with my friends Gerald and Addison.
Yo,
Welcome back, guys. Episode 4.
Big episode 4. We're just gonna recap a little bit in the past few games. Do our great segment, and then just end it off on some predictions that we got. So let's get started. Um, so I guess we'll get started with the Mariners recap. Um, we had a 3 game series against the Mariners. Lost the series 2-1. How'd y'all guys see that first game, losing 2-5?
So,
um, Jared, I'll let you take that one. I'll try and collect my thoughts here.
yeah,
Well,
I'm still kind of
I'll
pulling up some stuff.
I'll start off with Matt pitched. So
Yeah.
that's you don't really know what you're gonna get. He honestly was having a good game. He had I think he let up 2 runs up until the 5th inning, and then he got 2 on base. And then he got taken out, and then those 2 runners scored, which it wasn't really up to him that they scored, but they were on base because of him, so it counts for him. Um, he honestly struck a dude out, and then the ump didn't call it, and he eventually walked that guy. I think it was him, or no, it might have been no.
Yeah, I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember that. Yeah, I think
yeah.
that
So
was like at the end of
he
his
was,
outing.
yeah. It was the 5th inning, and he was about to strike out this guy and there was 1 out, and the ump just didn't call it. He called it a ball, and then that eventually led to that guy getting walked, and then them scoring. Uh,
Yeah, what I will say is, with the way our rotation looks right now, kind of not getting those calls from the umps. Like, some umps are more prone to calling the ball outside more, or like the ball up top is a ball more, We kind of do need that luck in order to kind of like patch up some of the holes in our starting pitching. But yeah, when you don't get those calls, we can have innings like that where it just erupts. A guy comes in for Mats and he gives up the runs, and then you know from there our offense is kind of like stagnant. So it is unfortunate. We're not playing the best right now, if we're being honest. But it's a long season. That's all I've been saying all season. I know it's kind of you know bad right now, but yeah, it's a long season, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a long season, and I think the start to this season through the first, whatever this has been, 27 games or so, um, has left a lot to be desired, but, like we always say, I don't think you can count this team out ever. And, I hope they bounce back here.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean we scored 2 early runs to go up 2-0 in the 2nd inning, and then gave up one, so it was just 2-1. And then it seemed like nothing else happened throughout the rest of the game. Um, that's about all that happened. We got 3 hits all game, which was
yeah.
kind of sucks, but those games happen. And then second game, Michaelis pitched 5.1 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks. Lost 4-5. What you guys see in that second game?
Um, well, like you said, it was a close game, but the momentum that we have right now, these close score games, we feel like we're not getting, and then when we have a lead like we had in game one, where the game is 2-1, and then they just have that one inning, our offense can't come back, but you know the boys are just kind of on the opposite end of like momentum right now. Um, I think that Seattle series showed that. Besides, obviously, Game 3 where we did end up winning, but um, yeah, just tough luck, you know. I feel like there was a lot of things to take away from that game. That certain pitchers were looking good, and looking back at the stat line, Burleson was 2 for 4, and I think he's cooled off a lot since this game. Um, which is another thing we have to talk about. I want to ask you guys feelings about Jordan Walker getting sent down. I know that's, the big news that's going on. Um, but yeah, Burleson has been struggling too. That's another underrated thing. So yeah, man, just an unfortunate loss. But
Well, I got a lot to say about this game. Last week I felt high on. I felt good about going into the game against Castillo. Honestly, I said it last episode, and that's exactly how it went. We got him out in 5 innings, 7 hits, scored three on him. We did strike out 8 times, but that's what happens. And he's arguably a top 10 pitcher, so that's always good to see. In our defensive side, when I was watching the game, I felt like Michaelis got left in one batter or two batters too long. Um, he got one out in the bottom of the sixth, but then he let up a single after a pitch at bat, and then the homer came right after that. They tied it 3-3. I don't know. I had a feeling that they should have taken him out at that point, before that homer happened, but yeah, that's how it is. And then
yeah, I yeah, since the game was like last week, I'm still kind of getting my mind refreshed as to what happened. So, but now that you do mention Michael has been in there like maybe one or two batters too long, I do remember that. And I feel like that's kind of a theme with Ali that Cardinals fans can agree on. Like sometimes his bullpen management or pitching management isn't always the best. I know he doesn't have like the best guys to go out there. But um
still
yeah,
could
I
be
do
making better
remember thinking
decisions.
like, yeah, yeah, I would say that.
it seems I'm kind of I see Ollie's bullpen management sort of reminiscent of how LaRussa used to manage, and like LaRussa would leave guys in because his bullpen arm wasn't warmed up. And you'd have a guy in throwing 90 pitches already, and LaRussa would be like in the post game, they'd be like, "Why didn't you put your guy in?" And because the starter would give up a home run or something. Like, why didn't you put your guy in? Before that last batter. And he's like, "Oh, he wasn't warmed up enough. He wasn't ready." And this he gambles on his guys a lot. He leans on them to, um, go that extra batter, that extra inning. Um, and sometimes it works, and right now it's not. So, and I think that's just sort of a management style that we're seeing.
Yeah, talking about like the management style, I was looking at something earlier, like I think it was an article that was talking about the Cardinal way, and basically they were saying how like the Cardinals are like kind of like nice guys, like they're gonna work with you and like let you go out there, get your innings, try to get right. But with all of this big league talent, is really not a lot of margin for error. Like one or two batters too long, and your guy might give up a home run. So I just feel like we need to find some type of like medium as far as trusting our guys to go out there and get the job done, but also knowing when to pull them out or put them in the right situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and I still think that it's a dangerous strategy because there's high level talent on all 30 teams, and like one or two batters against a team offensively like the Giants might not be a huge risk or a risk you're comfortable taking with leaving a guy in, but you're gonna run up against teams like the Phillies or the Braves or the Dodgers who have big power potential 1 through 9, and all of a sudden, like, you're leaving guys in one too many times or one too many batters, and you give up 2 home runs. Like,
Yeah,
I think it gets dangerous.
yeah, it definitely does. I agree with you on that.
All right,
What about
and
game three? What are
yeah,
we
game
thinking?
three, 1-7-3. We had Flaherty out on the mound. He pitched 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts.
Yeah,
I just think he continues to impress, man. He's our best pitcher, I think, our starting pitcher. Um, I don't know. I just feel kind of confident when he goes out there now. He's been locating better. He's not walking as many people. He's also striking out 9 people in 6 innings. Like,
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good stuff. Um, I'm gonna pull up his baseball savant page really quickly because yeah, like you said, noticing that he's like kind of getting locked in with his mechanics, like being able to locate his fastball, and also you'll see him like at the end of his outings, if he can't really place his off speed where he wants to, he'll throw the fastball harder, like 96, 97, and that's what I really like about Jack, the ability to tick up the velocity when he needs to, and also have good breaking pitches off of it. He's a competitor, man, and that's what I always liked about Jack.
yeah. I mean, like we said last week, I think he just continues to get better and better each outing, and he has been really, um, yeah, he's been really impressive.
Yeah.
We had
Also, you see the offense come to light a little bit. 7 runs in that
13
game.
hits. Yeah.
Yeah, you see Newbar at the top getting 3 hits. Gorman went 2 for 4. You know, Paul DeYoung. Wait, was this
Yeah,
third game?
yeah.
Yeah, Paul
DeYoung game
DeYoung went.
3,
Yeah, he went
three
three
for
for
four.
four. So
Yeah.
that's the type of potential that the lineup has. It's not always going to click every day because we do kind of have some holes in the lineup that I do want to talk about, like with Dylan Carlson.
Yeah, some
But
days like we had 7 runs on 13 hits. Also, it was against Chris Flexen. You know,
yeah,
we like I don't know. We'll take these third or fourth games in the series, but we gotta get we gotta do that consistently because I feel like we
we
keep
got to win.
scoring. We keep scoring in the first to third inning, and then it just kind of just goes away.
Yeah, it
Um,
kind of tails off.
so I don't know. I
And I,
think it just gotta be a little more consistent into the game. Because I mean, I prefer for them to score a lot at the end than in the beginning. So
yeah,
yeah. Okay, so there's some little topics that have been going around. Biggest one, Gerald mentioned it earlier. Uh, Mr. Jordan Walker got sent down to AAA. Um,
yeah.
Opinions on that?
Addison, I want to hear from you first, man. Talk to me.
I don't really understand it. I think he's certainly cooled off, from his hot start, but not to a point where I don't think he could perform. And I think he was a great locker room presence. Like, I think Jordan Walker being, an everyday guy, or at least in the dugout every day, was a huge benefit to this team. And without it, I don't really understand the thought process. Burleson hasn't really been producing at the level that I would say, okay, he needs to be up instead of Jordan Walker. Um, I did like the move for Paul DeYoung. Not initially, because I was like, oh, here we go again, giving this guy another shot, like the Cardinals do, being too nice for their own good. But he's surprised me, and he surprises me all the time because it seems like he has these like 2 week to 1 month stints where he's just like the man. Like he just goes 3 for 4, 4 for 4. He hits a bunch of home runs, and then after that time, he goes back down to batting like 150, and it's like, okay, cool, that was awesome for like a week and a half. He was like the
Right.
He's like perennial Jeremy Lin. Like he comes up and he's like on fire for just a little bit, and then he goes back down. Um, I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is the Paul DeYoung revenge tour. I hope he comes up firing, and he's just like surprising everybody. I hope he's got things figured out because a lot of his flaws to me looked mental, and that really sucks. Like I think you can rehab an injury, but like working on your mental game with athletes, I think is something that's a lot tougher to get over. And if Paul DeYoung can figure that out and bounce back, I mean, I'm all for it. So
Yeah.
I know I kind of went
Yeah.
away from Jordan Walker there, but um, yeah, those were my thoughts on that.
Yeah, like you said, the Paul DeYoung revenge tour has been like loading for like 4 years at this point. Like we all have been waiting to see
Yeah,
the guy that we once saw. And I know we're gonna be talking about it on the confidence meter, so I won't get too much into it because I do want to share my thoughts when we have that segment. But yeah, like you said with the Jordan Walker thing, like it's tough, man, but I think that the mindset was once Newt Bar came back from injury, like you see Ali going to more so of a rotation in the outfield, and really, with the young guys, in order to like get them sharp and like get that experience, is to have them out there, and uh Jordan Walker just wasn't playing. Like I think he didn't play in the Giants series at all. In the series before that, he only played maybe one game. So he was kind of like platooning slash like coming off the bench at certain points. And I know like baseball is tough, but like baseball is also a sport where you want to get your young guys the reps. And if you don't, you might as well like send them down in order to not kill their service clock and stuff, which it's a wicked game, man. But it's kind of hard to see him go down like that. He wasn't doing bad. I think he was like league average with his what's it called? OPS plus. I think it was like 101, 102, which is slightly above league average. But um yeah, man. I just think they were like, okay, you're not getting the consistent reps. His defense wasn't good in the outfield. That's one thing that was noted. But he's still learning. But yeah, with that move, they called Taylor Motter back up, which I think like that's fine, whatever. Like utility man, whatever. But like our outfield is like so many like people out there, and like
yeah,
I think we could really benefit for moving two guys, maybe one or even two guys, in order to get some pitching because we have so many guys. We have Yepes isn't even on the roster right now, and he
right.
can definitely be in the big leagues. Like it's just unfortunate that we have all of these guys that are like okay right now, like in the outfield. It's kind of just like a revolving door. But yeah, man, it's tough to see. Honestly, I didn't want to see it. I thought it would happen, but I did not want to see it because Like you said, he has a lot of potential. I think he can go down to the minors, work on a few things. I know he was hitting a lot of ground balls. He was hitting the ball hard, but just on the ground. So I know they said they wanted to work on some things with his swing, maybe elevate the ball a little bit more. But I think we'll see him back up this season.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. Um, I don't know. I don't see it as a bad thing. Um, just a way to look at it. Walker gets more consistent reps down in AAA, which he's
He's never
obviously,
played there before.
yeah.
He's never played there before.
So it's still another step from where he was before. Um,
Right.
but I don't know. The way I look at it is the front office wants Carlson, O'Neill, and maybe another outfield guy to increase their value, maybe get more reps, and then eventually trade them for starting pitching. I think it's a good thing if Carlson and O'Neill can start getting a little hot, maybe, and then get some value under their name.
Hmm.
Um, and with that, it kind of brings up a point that I've seen this week, and I've come up with. So I've seen this. I follow this page about Cardinals prospects, and I always see
Hmm.
different names that I've never heard before, which is great because I love to learn about new people. And we
Right.
have our number 12 prospect, Leonardo Bernal, I think is the way you say it. He's a catcher, and he's a teenager, and he's going crazy right now in Single A. He's 36 at bats. He's hitting 361, two home runs, seven RBIs, OPS of 1,000. So um, I think there we that's I love seeing those numbers. And I know we also have Ivan Herrera, um, but I could see Herrera getting traded with some of those outfield pieces for some pitching. Um, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, like I would kind of be more open to trading our prospects versus where I was to start the season, just because, you're seeing the starting pitching come to like fruition that is not the best, and like I think all Cardinals fans can agree, not even Cardinals fans, MLB fans can agree that the offense is there and the pitching isn't. So it's about finding that balance, and right now in our starting rotation, we don't have that guy. Well, Flaherty has shown he can go out there and do some work, but we don't really have that guy that we can go out there and rely on. So,
That true ace.
uh, yeah. So I don't know if that's in the market right now, but would be nice. Yeah, man. Addison, what you think?
Well, I mean, I think the front office would be silly to not be shopping the outfield guys around. I think they're really, I mean, like we said, they're just so deep in the outfield. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't even know how it happened. Like, I don't know if we just kept drafting outfielders or like what, but I think certainly we've got guys down, like Walker's down there now and Yepes, and then yeah, I think it's time to move on from Carlson. Obviously, I've been saying we need to get rid of O'Neill. So I
Yeah.
think I hadn't thought about that angle that I think it was Fran brought up about bringing up Carlson and O'Neill trying to get them production to raise their value. I think that's really interesting to me. And if that's what we're doing, I mean, great, let's do it. Like I'm all for that. Um,
Yeah,
so
man. I just want to
yeah,
see Dylan Carlson turn it around at the plate. I mean, I'm looking at his stats right now. Hold on, I'm getting advertisements and things
they're
like that.
brutal.
But yeah, he has really, really been doing that. And I feel like that's the guy that they value most defensively because his center field ability. But the bat has to come along with that. And looking at his stats, he has a WRC plus of 70 right now, which is 30% less than league average. You know, I like to see him make some adjustments. How about we like not bat left-handed? Like I think he's hitting 160 against right-handed pitching, and then he's hitting in the 300s against lefties. So like, how about we just like make that adjustment? Like the hitting coach, like I feel like the conversations have to be there, and that also comes down to the Cardinal way as far as like, is our hitting coaches and our coaches really talking to these guys and telling them where they can be better in certain areas? You know, like I wonder who in the clubhouse is that guy that they're relying on to really be the one to help guys out and make adjustments. Because last year we had the Pujols and Yachty and Wayno. I know he hasn't been around, but who is that guy in the Cardinals clubhouse that's like talking to these guys, helping them? Because I'm not sure. Like I just feel like the coaches would be like super nice about it, like, oh yeah, just go out there get your reps. Because I feel like that's the Cardinals way. But
Hmm.
yeah, man. I don't know what we would get for Carlson right now because the most he's had in his career with WRC plus is 113, which is a little bit above average. But obviously he might have a bright future. He's still young, but what would we even get for those type of guys?
I agree. I think at this point, just he's been struggling so much that there should be something that needs to change. I did look up his stats for hitting righty and lefty. As a lefty, he's batting 228, and as a righty, he's batting 369. Um,
Yeah,
which obviously, as a on the right side against lefties, he's had 20 less at bats, but but
yeah,
yeah, something needs to happen, man.
like I look at our coaching staff, and there's not really guys that I'm too familiar with around like MLB as far as coaches that I've heard of before. So I just wonder what they're doing with these guys and like talking to them and like Stubby Clap. Well, not Stubby Clap. Dusty Blake. I think this is his first time being a pitching coach ever. And obviously our pitching has been bad. So him as a first time coach, I'm wondering like what's going on, what is he telling these guys to do, what type of adjustments. That's what I'm really curious about right now.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think we are missing that. You certainly got it. I mean, I think Yachty was tough. Um, he would be, with his criticism. I don't think he was mean. That's not what I
Yeah.
mean by tough. But I think he told guys what they needed to hear, and Pujols certainly did. But I wonder, like without their presence there, like is it Nolan? Is it Paul? Both of those guys seem, well, Nolan not so much, but Paul seems like a very quiet, kind of reserved guy. So I don't, you know,
Yeah.
I
And
wonder if he's trying to get other guys, like, Paul's on this VR swing training. Like, that's been his thing. I wonder if he's trying to get other guys on that. Like, would that benefit other guys? Because I think it certainly benefited Paul. So, I kind of wonder what the leadership dynamic is like.
yeah, on the flip side, not everything is black and white for everyone. Not one thing works for everyone. Some
Right.
guys might prefer to be in the batting cages. I remember a while ago when we had Matt Carpenter when he was on the tail end of his career. They said he would spend like hours in the batting cage trying to get his swing right, and that would in turn just like really mess him up. So, some guys really need the reps. Some guys need virtual reality, I guess, with Paul Goldschmidt. He's a gamer, so But yeah, I really wonder what it is that is like contributing to us slumping right now. I mean, obviously I can point to the pitching, but I feel like as a collective, it's kind of everyone because you see guys like Nolan Arenado, he is not comfortable at the plate right now. I've noticed
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he's been in a
Um,
slump.
yeah, Dylan, like I said, it's not been doing too hot. So it's certain parts of the offense that are just like, okay, we can expect you to turn it around, but what's really going on behind the scenes, I hope that it's not like a big glaring problem with like a coach or like chemistry or like pressure versus expectations, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if they got comfortable in the off
Yeah.
season, because the Brewers kind of, with getting rid of Josh Hader at the end of last year, kind of were showing like they wanted to go into a rebuild. The Reds are awful. The Pirates, everybody was writing off. They've surprised everybody this year, but all the press was saying that the Pirates were going to have another bad year. Um, and the Cubs made some questionable moves. I mean, they said they made the big signing for Dansby, and that's great for them. But Cody Bellinger, nobody really thought that he was going to be right, but he's actually been having a pretty decent year, or at least surpassing what I think people's expectations were for him. So I wonder if they just got comfortable and were like, okay, well, we're penciled in for a division win, whatever, yada yada, whatever. Like, yeah, our
Yeah.
pitching stinks, but we're gonna make the playoffs no matter what because everybody else in our division sucks. So I wonder if it's just a case of simply getting too comfortable.
Yeah. I kind of did some reflecting on like last season for us and where things could possibly go wrong because it's like a fairly similar team from last year. It's just right now we just look so out of whack and we just look like we're playing like someone took our heart out of our chest. Like um I was reflecting on last year and I was thinking like maybe Yachty's and Pujols' presence took pressure off of guys like
Yeah,
Pujols been one of the best players of all time, you go out there, you're gonna get a good at bat from him, but guys maybe last year could feel like they can just fall in line and contribute off of those type of guys and those type of presences. But maybe this year, that could be lacking a little bit, And us as a Cardinals fan, we'll never know the complete story, but just
yeah.
it just gets me wondering, like, what's going on?
I think you're right. I think you're pretty right about that. I think last year the talk wasn't even about the playoffs. Like it was great, that we won the division and all that, and that was cool. Um,
Right.
but it wasn't about the postseason or anything. Like from a fan perspective, it was you know getting to see Albert one last time, getting to see Yachty one last time. Like we didn't know that Wayno was going to be coming back, so it was more just about remembering the years of service they gave to us. So yeah, I think this season
Yeah.
all of a sudden missing those guys is like, okay, now we expect you to be a playoff. Like we know you're good. Like you need to be a playoff and World Series contender.
Right. And think about how much uncertainty we had coming into this season, like with the outfield, where would guys line up? Will Jordan Walker be up? Um, Paul DeYoung was had a new retooled swing. Will he be on the roster? Like, how will Goldie bounce back from his MVP? It was a lot of stories, and when you don't have a guy like Pujols or Yachty in your clubhouse, those guys are great. So I feel like that's sort of a disadvantage, but it's about how you handle it. So
Yeah,
it's a long season, man. That's what I've been saying. Like it's a long season. Like don't count us out. Never count us out. But you know,
All right, we're
feel
gonna
like I
move
feel like
into finish your thought. We're gonna move into.
yeah, we just need someone to establish, in the clubhouse that can just be like, hey, let's get this going, guys.
Yeah, we definitely need that push. Hopefully Wayno when he comes back can give us a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Um, but we're gonna move into our segment, the confidence meter. So we're gonna do a little intermission and come right back. So we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So we're gonna move into our confidence meter, which is our segment where we rank players 1 through 5 on how confident we are moving forward with them. And yeah, we usually do 5 to 6 players each time. So let's get right into it.
Yeah.
First player on the list today is Paul DeJong. He just got called up
Holy D.
recently. Seems to be tearing it up. What do you guys give him?
Addison, I'll let you go first, unless you want me
Okay,
to.
all right. No, I got it. I'm I'm gonna give him like a 2.5, 3. Obviously, he's been wowing us all with his performance recently, but feel like what's a good comparison for him? He's like I don't know, man. Like he constantly he's like, man, he's like the toxic ex, man. He is. He is. He's like, dude, you break up with this girl because she's treating you bad, and she's not being healthy for you, and then she like hits you back a couple months later. She's like, I swear to God, I've changed. Like, I'm gonna be better this time. Like, let's work things out. And then you take her back, and things are good for a while, and then things go right back to the way they were before. So, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he has changed for the better. I want to take him back. Don't get me wrong, because obviously we see what he does when he's on. But the issue is I just don't fully trust him yet.
Yeah. Uh, in relationships, people change. They try to adjust certain things for that person, and that's what Paulie D has been going through. He's been trying to work on his swing for the past few seasons, along with staying healthy. Addison, I'm with you, bro. Like, I would say I'm right in the middle at a 3. Um, just from watching the games and seeing it, I see that he has a new swing. It's more simple, like he doesn't have the big leg kick anymore, and he stands more upright. So that's kind of refreshing to see because you can tell that he is putting the bat on the ball a lot better. But like you said, will it sustain over the whole season is where I kind of dock him down a few points based on his history, you know? Because right now he's hitting 462 with uh 1,308 OPS. So that's like obviously tearing the cover off the ball right now. But that's only 13 at bats. So that's only a few
100%.
games worth of that. But yeah, man, I just looking at him, the eye test is saying he's is gonna be sustainable, like maybe a little bit above average bat, but like you said, we have fallen into this trap before. And
Yeah, yeah.
get into a
I
trap
feel
in a
like
relationship. You
I
don't want
feel
to do
like all
that.
of our boys are like, no, no, don't take her back again. Don't make it the mistake again. But then we're doing it again. We're gonna see how it works out this time.
Yeah. Yeah. His stats look good right now. If we can sustain this, I'm here for it. If he's there for it, I'm there for it. Uh yeah, I'm gonna have to say a 3. I like what I see though, so I'm tempted to go 3.5, but we do know that
Yeah.
this could come back to burn me.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree with y'all. I'm giving him a 4. Uh, I've been loving what I've seen from Paul, man. 13 at bats, 6 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 home run in his first game. The one thing that gives me confidence in him is his one strikeout, man. One strikeout.
Yeah, Yeah.
You can
Uh,
see it in his
I
swing. You
like
can see
it,
it.
and that's I just from that one strikeout, it gives me it just brought up like a point in my 1 out of 5. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't know. Just like you said, big leg kick. It feels like he's seen the ball pretty well, and I'm confident. I'll give it to him. I have to give it to him. It seems like he's worked hard to get back to this point.
yeah. Just a
Yeah,
quick breakdown on him. Like in the past, he like had a little crotch to his swing, and then like when the ball comes in, he'll do like a leg kick or whatever. This offseason, you can tell he was like working in order to improve that because he strikes out a lot, which he hasn't so far, but based on the past, that's what he does a lot. So you can tell he's just focused on putting the ball in play, and he's doing a great job at it right now. And he's hitting the ball hard. He had that one game versus Seattle where he went 3 for 4. I'm like, he's back. I was texting Fran about. I was like, he's back. But
yeah,
yeah,
great to see. So we
definitely.
got a
I
what, a
can
two,
definitely see. Yeah,
2.5, 3, and then a 4.
yeah. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
3.5. I'm gonna be fair.
All right,
He's
all
I'm
right,
going
going on the limb.
3.5.
all right. So next player, we got Jordan Hicks. He's I think since I think since last episode, the somebody came out and said that he was gonna get played in uh, less leverage
Lower.
situation, lower leverage
Yeah,
situation. I personally would give him a 3.5 out of 5. I've actually liked a lot what I've seen lately from him since
yeah,
April
Oh,
15th against the Pirates, which was the last time he gave up a run, which was 10 games
yeah.
ago, but he also doesn't play every game. Um,
yeah,
he's pitched 4.2 innings. He's only had 4 hits, 11 strikeouts, and the one thing that just again one walk in 4.2 innings, one
Mhm.
walk,
yeah.
and that's just what brings it up for me. So I'll give him a 3.5.
Yeah, like you said, like we know the walks are a big thing with Jordan Hicks. If he can just throw his stuff in the zone, he's gonna be good. And like you said, since our last episode, he's just gone out there and has done great. Each game that he's been into so far, he's had at least a strikeout in the inning that he was in. So, um, yeah, that power sinker is gonna play. Whenever it gets into the zone, it's gonna play. Um, and that's just the type of potential you have with a guy like Jordan Hicks. I agree. 3.5 based on what I've seen in the last week. It was kind of tough hearing that he'll be in lower leverage situations. I know that kind of is like a morale like dropper, but it was the start of the season, but he was struggling pretty mightily. But hey, whatever happened since that came out, we need to be doing the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. Like whatever got into him after that, I like it because he's been lights out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you guys. I think um, 3.5, 4. Um, the command has been there, and I think that's what we were talking. I think we were talking about him last episode, weren't we?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and the command is the only thing that we kept bringing up, and I really think that that's. I don't know if it's the lower leverage thing. I don't know if that was too much pressure for him and it got to him mentally. I don't know, what the deal was, but um, yeah, he certainly found something here.
Yeah, he's
What
over the last week he's had 4 outings. So
Yeah,
4 out of the 6 days that they play or 7 days, or I don't know if they played every day for last week. But yeah, you can clearly see that he's going out there with confidence. His last appearance, he came in the fifth inning, and I think he inherited some runners, and I think Newt Bar dropped the ball in center field, and he kind of showed some emotion. So you can really see that he's into it. And when you have a guy with that type of stuff that's really into it, I really like the idea of that. So yeah, we'll see if it's sustainable.
out of
But
5, Addison?
I was gonna say like a 3.5, 4.
Okay.
yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely is good to have that emotion. People who care
Yeah,
need that in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Um, Next up, we got he's one of my favorite pitchers on the team. We got Zach Thompson again. Um, I'm just putting him on here because he's finally had a bad outing.
yeah,
I'd still give him a 4. Um, it's just that he's just got to bounce back from his last 2 games he's played in. In his last 2 games, well, up until this point, he didn't let up a run. In the last 2 games, he's pitched 1.2 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, and he's walked the same as many people as he's walked. He's walked as many people as he's struck out, which is 3. Um, what do you guys got on Zach?
Yeah. I know we've done him on the segment before, and I know we all like him, like as a lefty arm. I'm right there with you, Fran. Honestly, like nothing lower than a 3, probably like a 3.5 or 4. Honestly, I feel like when we go out there with Zach Thompson, that kind of I feel good about what's gonna happen. Like I don't feel like he's gonna like blow up an inning or I don't know. Having that guy go out there with confidence on the pitching side is big right now. So yeah, I love Zach Thompson.
yeah. I mean, as long as he bounces back, a couple bad outings, that's baseball. You
Yeah,
know, Shohei gives up runs. It's not
yeah,
like that's it's not nobody's perfect. Nobody goes the whole season without giving up a run. So, you
yeah,
know, I'm not super worried about it. I'm not super concerned. I think yeah, right in there that 3.5 for him would be good.
Perfect. Talking about perfect, let's talk about Giovanni Gallegos. Um, he's definitely been perfect. Seems like since we started the season, I'd give him a 5. Right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
he's been lights out. His season stats are he's pitched 8.1 innings. He's let up 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 11 strikeouts. I don't think it could get any better than that. What do you guys got on Gio?
yeah. So nobody's
yeah,
perfect except for Gio. That's what we're looking at right now,
Yeah, that's just how
basically.
it is.
Yeah, nobody in baseball is perfect. Everybody lets up runs except for Giovanni Gallegos. Um, So and that's great to see. Kind of a bounce back year for him after kind of struggling last year. I think that's important, honestly, because between him and now Ryan Helsley struggling a little bit, um, whereas the narrative was flipped last year. So as long as we got one stud guy, I can kind of hang my hat on that. So yeah, I'm feeling high fours, fives.
yeah. One thing I noticed about Gio as Lamar just got signed to a 5-year deal with the Ravens. Okay, okay. Um, One thing I can say about Gio is I feel like he never gets like too bad. Like he may have a few outings where like things will kind of get bad, but at the end of the season, you always see Gio. He has like a 3 ERA or a 2 ERA. Right in there. He's a solid guy in the back of the bullpen. And you look at his percentile rankings and stuff on Baseball Savant and stuff like that. They all check out. Like he strikes out a lot of guys. He gets a lot of chase with his delivery. Um, his whiff percentage is in the 94th percentile, which is really good. Closer to 100, the better on Baseball Savant. But yeah, Gio's a solid guy to have. It would be really nice to see him and Helsley just kind of get it going at the same time. I know Helsley had that walk-off home run recently, but
Yeah.
him too. I just hope he bounced back. He has great stuff. So, but yeah, Gio. I'm not gonna say 5, but I'm gonna say 4. Just play it cool.
And lastly, let's talk about Umber. This isn't a player, uh, and
Mhm.
so confidence meter
Curveball.
out of 5 on the St. Louis Cardinals and the rest of the season
Ooh.
because I've just recently read something that says Only four teams in MLB history have made the playoffs after starting their season out with fewer than 10 wins in the first 25 games. Only four teams. What do you guys give the Cardinals right now and seeing what's going on? I know it's a long season, but there's the stats don't lie, man.
Addison, I got thoughts. Would you want to go first, or you want me to
I can
go?
go, I can go first. I think um, I think right now, as it sits, confidence wise, is pretty middle of the road. It's like a 2.5, 3 for them. But I don't read too much into that stat. I'm not gonna lie to you because my Lakers had a 0.3% chance to make the playoffs after
Mhm.
starting the year 2-10, and we're about to knock out Memphis and move on. So I don't read too much into those stats. I don't put too much weight on that. Yeah, 2.5, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say going forward, I'll probably say like 2.5 at most because we are kind of in a hole right now. And if you look at the rest of the NL Central, a lot of teams are doing better than what we thought. And we're pretty, I'm not gonna say pretty far, but we're some games out of first place. So like the Pirates, they look good. They made a lot of sneaky pickups this offseason and things are kind of gelling for them. So I feel like they're kind of dangerous. And then the Brewers, we were kind of, counting them out a little bit. We knew the pitching was going to be there, but it was really up to the offense and they've responded and we haven't. So, you know, it's
So right in the
it's
middle of the
tough.
pack, right there, 2.5, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say two because there's some things I don't like, but and I feel like they would need to be changed in order for me to improve. But yeah, I'm gonna say 2.5.
All right, well I guess I'm the only one that's given above a 3. I give them a 3.5. Um, I don't know. I just got this like vision that the Cardinals are just gonna turn around. I have high hopes on some of our guys getting their value up, and then as much as it's not expected, I just feel like a trade's gonna happen at some point. And hopefully, I hope it's for a good pitcher. I wouldn't be mad if we had one hole in our 9 offensive players on the lineup. I would not mind. I don't care. If we can get a good starting pitcher, I don't care. So I'll give him a 3.5. And that's just what I got for him. So yeah,
Fair.
we're gonna intermission back to finish up the episode. So we will be right back. All right, everybody. Welcome back. We are gonna run through the predictions for this future series that we got coming up next few days against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Um, Game one, we have our guy Flaherty going up against Dustin May. Dustin May hasn't looked too bad. I don't think he's got a 3.07 ERA. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't followed the Dodgers too much, but I could tell you that they're not as good as they were last year. Um, but they still got a lot of guys on their offense that could hurt us, especially Max Muncy. What do you guys got on that game?
Um,
Go ahead, Gerald.
well, I know Dustin May is a guy. Like that's a guy that's gonna go out there and he's gonna throw high velocity. He's gonna attack the zone. So that's a tough matchup for the offense. But it always comes back to our pitching. I'm curious to see how Dak looks. I'm confident, but just as a pitching staff overall, I'm curious to see how we look against veteran guys. I know it's not the same Dodgers team as maybe years past, but they're still a formidable franchise. We're on the road in their stadium, right?
Yep, playing in Chavez.
Yeah. Yeah, so just curious to see how our bats look. But just more curious about how the pitching will be in the series overall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for to see Jack Flaherty again. I think that'll be, good. Just to see what he's improved on from his last outing. Dustin, I think, is going to give us some fits, and that's okay. But I don't think Dustin is so good that the offense won't be able to perform. I'm looking for guys to bounce back. I'm looking for Arenado to kind of come out of his slump that he's in. I'm looking for big games out of our offensive guys. So, hopefully DeYoung keeps performing, stuff like that. So I think game one, is definitely up in the air. I don't get to see who the Dodgers are pitching, unfortunately. But then, game two,
Game two, they
um,
got it says they got
yeah,
Kershaw. Saying
Kershaw, and
2.32 ERA. I feel good against lefties, dude.
historically have hammered Kershaw. So
Yeah,
I look forward to the days that Kershaw's pitching against us.
yeah. It should be
So
Monty against Kershaw that day. So
we're
I feel
going
good.
lefty lefty.
Yeah, I feel good with
Yeah,
Monty on the mound. I also feel good going against a lefty.
yeah.
What you got on that, Gerald? What you thinking?
Yeah, I definitely like the potential of our lineup facing a guy that's one a lefty, also doesn't throw the highest velocity. I know Kershaw is always sharp, Hall of Famer, you know, quality arm. Wish we could have had him, but no, I'm just playing. But yeah, I like that spot. Curious to see how we deal with kind of a change of pace with Dustin May, who's a hard sinker throwing righty, going to Kershaw, who's a lefty who uses more breaking pitches and kind of spots up his pitches more. But those are two quality arms that they're having. But I feel like on our end, we have Monty and Jay Flair going out there, so I like it. I think the games will be competitive for those two games.
I have a feeling this might be our series to bounce back on. Uh, we have,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially at least get 2 out of 3. Game three, we have Woodford against Syndergaard, which I mean that could also be our game, man. Syndergaard has been struggling a little bit this season. 6.58 ERA. Woodford, yeah, I mean Woodford. I don't know. There's just some pitchers that I just think they should go out there and be like at most 3 runs. Hopefully, that's what I ask. And Woodford has been doing that lately. Um, so yeah, I got high hopes for this series against the Dodgers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta turn it into fruition.
I need Arenado to step up again, man. His last 31 at bats, only had 3 hits, and
Man, he's really
half of his at
looked.
bats have been strikeouts.
Yes, he's looked
So
lost at the plate. I don't know if it's a clubhouse thing. I don't know if it's a start of the season thing, but yeah, he has looked lost at the plate.
yeah, I don't
But
know, and he's only walked one time. So
he's a Hall of Famer though, so
definitely can't give up that defense that he's got. Um,
no,
so
never.
yeah, any last thoughts about these Dodgers? I got very high hopes for this series, as I probably say every series, but
Yeah, I got high hopes. Kind of talking about the Dodgers a little bit. I've been following other teams just a little bit, Kind of don't want to be sad about the Cardinals all the time. Also see who we could get. I've been paying attention and I've been seeing that they've been putting Mookie Betts at shortstop. Uh
Yeah.
just wonder when we gonna give Mookie Betts credit as one of the best athletes because he can ball at an elite level. He could play baseball. He probably can hoop. He's a guy. I like Mookie, but
Oh, Mookie's a stud for sure.
yeah, he's a stud.
love those
But yeah,
leadoff
nothing
homers he's
too.
got sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, he's tough.
I think that'll wrap it up for this episode 4. Um,
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
Cardinals season. It's been a tough season so far for us fans and probably the players. Um, I
Yeah,
don't know.
and I feel like we're more optimistic about a lot of Cardinals fans. You know, I see these Cardinals fan pages just
Yeah,
going off on the team,
yeah, I
which,
know.
I kind of fall into it sometimes, but, still trying to stay optimistic
Yeah,
with the Cardinals.
I don't know. I just it's hard to hate on my own team, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that'll
Yeah.
be it for episode 4. Thank you guys, Gerald and Addison, for joining me once again. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
talking
So
some
also
Cardinals baseball.
I did want to say I noticed that we had some reviews on our podcast and they're all 5 stars right now. I
I
appreciate
know.
that.
Yeah, thank you
Like,
everybody for listening.
for you guys listening, like, that's crazy. I could never imagine just like listening to me talk.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the support has been great,
This is
honestly.
something
I know
definitely
it's
that I've
not
wanted to
promoted.
do for a while,
Right.
and it feels good that people are supporting, and I appreciate it a
Yeah,
lot.
man. Yeah.
Um,
That's all I had to say.
so yeah, again, thank you to everybody listening. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys listening.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, thank you guys again for joining me. Thank you guys for listening on the other end, and we will catch you guys next week. Thank
See
you.
you.
Deuces.